Happy Halloween. Boo. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. I will refrain from singing because you will all be sick. Okay, we're doing a final flip through here. I got to get out a couple things that need to go in my Hobonichi. Okay, this was my, what is this called? Prompt list. These were my chapter summaries, and I chose to, about midway through, sorry if that just scraped everybody's ears, to put them in pockets at the back, maybe 2 pockets at the back, because it was just getting too problematic to come up with hidden pockets, as well as everything else I wanted to try to achieve. I will not have it sewn together until next week sometime when I go home. I do have thread here, but, and I might show you tomorrow. Look what I did. I don't know. This is, oh, what is that? This might be the wrong pocket to take home. Oh no, okay. I never did find chapter 15. Whether I did not do it, I don't know. But I read you all of these. I kept up with my prompt list every day. My journal started out as a ton of envelopes. I'm going to take these home. I have a couple extra ones because I need to strengthen some of the pages. So this is what's going home, this stack over there. So final flip through. It's very problematic here. I'm going to have to deconstruct. I probably should just kind of deconstruct maybe now. Maybe I can work on this afternoon. Because I really put a lot of tape. I don't know what kind of journal construction that I make is called, but you lay 2 pieces of paper and you have like tape and tape, and then you put another piece of paper on top of it, and you have tape in different places. So then you bring the bottom layer forward, tape forward, and so you're creating like a loop spine with tape, sort of. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of tutorials, people explaining it better than I can, and I can't remember what it's called. So, but word to the wise, it doesn't work on this fat of a journal for me. Anyhow, okay, so we're going to go through the prompts and do a final flip through here, and a really in-depth one, because I did not purposely do one the whole way through. So let me make sure I'm in camera for one thing. Okay, first prompt was the book. I announced what I was doing with fanfare, a poem, a jingle that I made, and oh, that's another thing I need to take home. Kind of getting my to-go home basket ready. Because we're leaving tomorrow morning for you, day after tomorrow for me. But, oh, I still have a little bit of this little tape that I made. I'm going to put that in my Hobonichi. See all these little extras go in your Hobonichi? You would think I wouldn't have any paper laying around because I've put all this little extra stuff in Hobonichis, but I still have paper. That's how much paper I have. Anyhow, okay. Halloween Party by Agatha Christie, written in 1960, or published in 1969. Before I started this, after I started this, I realized they had just made a movie and it came out in September. And my husband and I went to see it. It's a little different, but it was still a good movie, anyhow, so I was in the popular group for once in my life. Everybody wanted to do the Halloween party. So anyhow, I love watching the background. I love watching Agatha Christie mysteries on BBC. A couple of you have told me about some other book series that are as good as Agatha Christie's, and I haven't gotten to the library yet, but I might. Still, it's on my list of things to do. This list that keeps growing. Anyhow, so I love the one on the BBC with David, not Sargent, but he's the perfect, the way I picture him in my mind, the perfect Hercule Poirot. I'm not French. I cannot pronounce French. So there. Okay. So this was the announcement page. I still am going to add a reason why. Probably just like what I just said. Put it here. I'm going to add 2 pockets in the back to disperse the journal cards. And there were a couple things that I wanted to achieve that I really didn't follow through on, but I'm still okay with the end result. Somebody suggested, Melody, maybe, that to sandpaper and get kind of like another effect of grunge that way. I never tried it, and I still want to do that next Halloween or next grungy type journal, which could be the next one. Who knows? I have several ideas bubbling in my head, but there's so much going on in the next week, the next 2 weeks, that I think I'm just going to work on Hobonichis and other in-betweener projects and just kind of chill. For whatever reason, in my mind, I have to start a project at the beginning of the month and finish it at the end of the month, or finish it at the end of 2 months or 3 months. That's ridiculous. I know, but that's just, I might have some OCD tendencies when it comes to things like that. Anyhow, or I'm just weird. That's a good possibility too. So, first page, introduction. Oh, and I never kept up as much grunge as I wanted to. However, 31 days of all of this different stuff worked fine. I wanted to add more acetate. I didn't do that. I wanted to add windows with the window envelopes. That didn't work. But I still love the end result. There's tape everywhere. I can't take it off in some places. Anyhow, it just adds to the grunge, actually. So, day 1 was introducing the book. Day 2 was Hercule Poirot. And I just did a bunch of cluster. I did a cluster here with some words from Tim Holtz. That was another thing. My inspiration was Tim Holtz and his, what does he call them? Not design team, but the people that make things with his products, and he displays them on his showing the product shows on YouTube. I can't remember what he calls them. Makers? I don't know. Anyhow, there's one lady. I think she's in Louisa Heinzel. She's in Europe somewhere. She's got a really thick, like, East European accent. Maybe German, maybe Polish. I don't know. Don't quote me on any of that part. She is like the queen of grunge in my estimation. And she has her own YouTube channel, and I've been watching it. But, I mean, granted, she gets all this product free and all that kind of stuff to make this stuff. I wanted to kind of come up with some of those possibilities without having to buy $1 million worth of product. I have the little paper dolls. I have paper, and I have some stickers. That's all I wanted to do. I did not want to go any farther than that. And see what I could do with my own paper, my own layering, my own glue stick, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, Hercule Poirot he always says, I'm not French, I am Belgian. Anyhow, so I have a map of Belgium, a picture of somebody in a play, probably Europe, of him, and just layering, grunging, to enter, oh, and I put HP for Hercule Poirot. Anyhow, so, and I had pockets. I have, like, journaling cards tucked in here. Chapter 1. And so, prompt 3 was Halloween party. The premise of the book is a Halloween party given by a lady that has this huge manor house in the countryside somewhere in England. I love a good stack. I love Allie Edwards. These are from her, I think from her monthly thing somewhere along the way. They were sitting on my desk. I used them. In hindsight, I would have done this differently because it's a little bit too bright. And I never really I have a couple bright things on here, but it was mostly grunge. But that's okay. That's okay. It's done. It survived. Here's my journaling card. Keep thinking I'm going to find chapter 15, but I really think I already went through these. And this is why they're going in an envelope and going home. And going in pockets in the back. Okay. So day 4 was apples. The first murder is happens at the apple bobbing station on the night of the Halloween party. So here's an apple bobbing station. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little apple bobbing station. And I made apples, though I cut those out. I painted acetate and wrote the word apple on here and kind of put that as a tip in. These were something I made last month in September, and put apples here. That was fun. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, and I did more stuff back here with magazine letters, which I love to do. Apple. So, number 5 was lady friends. A lot of her lady friends were at this party, and they're all kind of like a group. And I got stickers from Tim Holtz's sticker book, paper dolls, and then I had this one lady sitting on a pumpkin. And they're all, you know, thick, torn edges in places, and just thick. Number 6 is murder. So on Procreate, I wrote the word murder, added some smudges over that, stretched the letters in a couple places, and then I did a cascading thing of things that you need to solve a murder with. Thank you, Alex Murdoch. For those of you who don't know, I live in South Carolina, and Alex Murdoch took over everything earlier in this year, and there's a whole backstory of some of the attorneys and my husband and blah, 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 blah. It's just wild. The South is small, people. The South is small. But you need clues, a witness, weapon, body, blah, 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 blah. All help. So I just kind of did that. This added to the bulk. And I put on here, witchy woman, which is an image I found off of Google Images. So that added to the thickness, which I loved. And I love that. Another bright page. Water was a clue. This is prompt 7, water. Water was in the apple bobbing station. Water was in the well where another murder took place. And there was water somewhere else. But at the end of the book, when she kind of summarized everything, water was a clue, which I did not pick up on. Thank God she tells about it all at the end. But I just did a bunch of, I love photocopying pictures of rugs. And these are rugs. There is a picture of 2 hands trying to grab each other underwater. And I used old scrapbook paper, a lot of old Kelly Perky stuff before she was a paper person. A lot of just paper that I have around here. And made ghost stories and beware and a ghost, and wrote H2O in these. Oh, I put some acetate down here. Wrote H2O in some of these little water bubbles. Just mixed media, pretty much. And trying to keep that thickness and grunge and layering effect going. Chapter 8, this is going to be a long video. Chapter 8 is a detective. And this is a lot of words, investigation, explanation, evaluate, solving, observations, and all the stuff you need for a detective. And a lot of black. I kind of wanted this to be a black, dark, gruesome color scheme because there's murders in this book. Anyhow, with the help of James Burke washi tape and pieces that I painted on Procreate, stickers, paper that I painted myself, added a little blue. Just love, 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 love. And then this is prompt 9, which is Manor House. And I mean, somehow in these books by Agatha Christie, in the Hercule Poirot series, a lot of the events take place in these beautiful country manor houses. He has rich friends. So anyhow, this one was wild. I took some sketch paper and crumpled it up and put around the edges of this, just to give it, at that time I was really, really, really trying to remember to make layers and grunge and trying to replicate some of the stuff they do with cheesecloths and stuff like that in Tim Holtz products without having that. So I got 2 manor homes off of Google Images. A little girl representing the girl that was killed in the beginning of the book. Home also written in here from a frame I put in. Just kind of brought in the book page, put the book page of this background. Just trying to blend it all together in a strange sort of way. Garden. This was, you got to think outside the box for this one. Spoiler, I can't be responsible for any spoilers now. The book was written in 1969, published in 1969, and it's hopefully those of you who don't want to know the plot, just watch, don't listen. But the murderer, the main character murderer, is a garden architect guy that designs these beautiful country gardens for these gorgeous country manors. And I just took a bunch of green on an envelope and made circles on paper. I think this is deli paper that I glued on top of the envelope, then cut out some more circles, because sometimes they have like those hedges and circles and stuff in those gardens representing that, but it's still abstract enough to make me happy. 11 was love, because love plays, there's a lot of jealousy. There's love for a caregiver and her patient, the love of the kids in the party. There's love in this book, believe it or not. And I love Hercule Poirot, the settings, the amount of characters. This is what I love about these books. The Hercule Poirot, the settings, the amount of characters, the charm, the era of the settings, the leader of writers, in my opinion, Agatha Christie. So I just put that on craft paper and stuck it in this envelope, and you can see it through the window, which I grunged up to and added. I bought some ephemera books before I left, and this one was a black and white one, so I added a pumpkin and kind of put orange in the creases of the pumpkin. Will, there's a forged will, and I put in some, I made like, I have a poison stamp, a skeleton stamp, so I've made it like look like poison. Again, another house, a murder took place again. And what the things you need for a will: codicil, forged, probate, handwriting. You know, that's kind of some of the clues about the forged will. This could be the person that wrote the forged will. And that's half man, half woman's face that I saw somebody do on Pinterest. So I was like, I have to do that. And I did that before I even left home and added it in here. Pagan. I skipped one of my, I reversed switched off some of my prompts. So pagan, the gardener that was the murderer was also into pagan symbols, signs, whatever. So I got some stuff off of Pinterest. And this is some paper that I made in the background. And I added the word Dubrovnik because I love saying that word. Actually, the lady that was the lady that was found in the well was from Herzegovina. Another word I love to say. Anyhow, I just added some pagan-like, what knowledge I have of paganism or whatever. I added some stuff on here. Oh, I forgot I had a whole huge fold out. And just with a few of the ephemera pieces from Tim Holtz, Halloween on a little tag of mine, another image of somebody maybe that could be pagan, I don't know. 14 is library. The party was held in the library, and the lady that was killed, the girl that was killed in the apple bobbing station, was held in the library. So I got two images. This is from an ephemera book. This is from Google Images, and it's kind of like a library. And then I made a bunch of books and put Agatha Christie titles. Dead Man's Folly, Murder in the News, The Hall. I guess that says The Hall. Evil Under the Sun, Death of the Nile, Cards on the Table, Murder on the Orient Express, and Third Girl are some of her other books. And I love how this turned out. Orange paper that I painted. I added a bunch of bats because every library should have some bats, I guess. And apparently I need to fix this little thing here. And we come to Herzegovina, which is where Olga, the lady that was found in the well, and who was the caregiver for the older lady that they forged the will for, because Olga was supposed to receive all the money, but they nixed that and they killed her. But she was from Herzegovina. And so I had some old Herzegovina images of stamps and added those to it. Curious? No. Leopold. Leopold was the girl that was killed at the apple bobbing station. Her brother, he was also killed. And he was a little bit, because he was too curious, he was killed. So I just kind of added a bunch of images I thought would look good here. Keeping in the color scheme, keeping in the Halloween party, death, bats, that kind of stuff. I added a picture from a sticker from Tim Holtz, and then added the mask over it, which I guess I forgot to unplug her eyes. Anyhow, and the little paper doll and paper that I painted. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to represent that. London, which is where Hercule Poirot lives, and they ended up going back there towards the end of the book, and I had an image of Big Ben from Google Images, and then I did some more paper and kind of rolled it and made a Big Ben kind of pointy thing to frame the shape of the piece of paper, and added a moon. Oh, the moon last night. I think the full moon was the night before, but last night we could really see it, and it was a typical gorgeous epitome of a harvest moon with a little bit of a sliver already missing. But it was over the edge of the water. My camera can't do this justice. It was over the edge of the water, and it was orange. It was gorgeous. Okay. Shoes is prompt 19, I think. And Hercule Poirot wears these spats. And I just thought that was kind of something that should be added. He's always walking in these silly shoes and gets mud on them and stuff like that. And he gets upset. But this was the ketchup and mustard page. I had a piece of paper that had yellow and red on it already that I used. But I added more yellow. And the more I did, the more it looked like ketchup and mustard. So I tried to put washi tape behind it, kind of back it off a little bit, stack some shoes, add some black, and kind of put the ketchup mustard thoughts out of my mind. Knife. There was a knife, I think, but I don't remember now where. Anyhow, I made a gigantic cluster on some paper that I just added orange and black to, in an image from Google Images. Once again, pub. At the end of the book, on their way back to London, they stop at a pub for lunch. And here's an English pub that I got an image off of Google Images, but I took in Procreate and took the name of the pub out and then wrote in Procreate pub. And of course, any good pub in London on Halloween would be decorated with pumpkins. So I added those. Now, this is where it's going to start getting problematic because my book is falling apart. Surgery required. Okay, now we have poison drink. At the pub, the gardener, Richard, and the murderer, Mrs. Drake, who was the host of the party, tried to poison Miranda because they found out that the girl that they killed at the apple bobbing station actually didn't see them murder Olga. Miranda did. Anyhow, so we add poison bottles and a stack of poison on Tim Holtz paper, and added a little blue because this Tim Holtz paper had some blue in the background. And it all kind of came together. I love, this is a journaling card from Allie Edwards. No, this was a card from somebody in the mail, an advertising. But on the front, it had the X's and O's. And I just kind of liked how all that worked together. And then we get into two boys. The two boys help him with some ideas about the kids and things like that. Solve how the murder happened. So I took two paper dolls and put them in circles on paper that I already had. This red paper is paper that I painted over a year ago here at the beach, but I used the outline of an oyster shell. And as I was doing it, I'm like, oh my God, that looks like a ghost. So this paper had to be in this journal. Train. He travels a lot by train at this time in the world. It was after World War I, so that's a good form of transportation, especially in Europe still. So I just added a bunch of clusters and my favorite thing, which is magazine letters. And this is, again, is a little bit of the bright to kind of tie in with the bright here, which it's okay. Spooky tree. Miranda saw Michael and Mrs. Drake kill Olga while sitting in a spooky tree. And so that had to be included. And there's trees on top of black. And out of the Children's Dictionary, the definition of Halloween. Then we get into who. All of these clues, all of these chapters, there's 27 chapters, I think. The murderer is displayed or solved in the 26th chapter. And 27 ties up a lot of loose ends. And a crazy twist. But it takes forever and a lot of British stuff works like that. It just takes you get all this information and it's like, boop, done. It's okay. So anyhow, the murderer was Mrs. Drake. Mrs. Drake and Michael killed Olga and put her in the well. They killed Joyce at the apple bobbing station, and they killed Joyce's brother Leopold because they thought he also saw everything. And there's a lot of grunge on this thing. I tried to use up a bunch of scraps. This is packing tape that I painted at home, added to this layer of scrap stuff. I added a little ghost because, you know. And then we have chapter 27, which tied up a lot of loose ends. And I just kind of pinpointed some highlights. Miranda viewed Olga's murder from the spooky tree, not Joyce. Leopold was killed because he also knew too much. Michael is Miranda's birth father. Yes. Yes, crazy. Mrs. Drake had an affair with Michael. They had a codicil to the Wheel Forge, and they planned to escape to Greece together. All that did not happen because they are now in jail, and probably still are. I can't close. This is the other half of that red paper, and I just can't cover it up. So then I had a few days extra to kill, so I kind of did a little. I got this off of Google Images, and it's just like a little cartoon of Hercule Poirot. I kind of replicated it over here. Badly the first time, did it again, put it over the top, acceptable. And then I did a blurb on Agatha Christie, which I love how this turned out. Super simple, just all the highlights of her and what an amazing woman she was. And we wrote on here, spectacular woman, because she always had a murder going on. And, oh, this is supposed to be for this. Okay. Use your little gray cells is a famous quote from Hercule Poirot. He always says that. So, that's the book. Journal. It all is going home and a little mound of mess, and try to sew it somehow, hopefully, and I'll show you what happens when I get it home and fix it, what it turns out like. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your great comments all month long. We had some people that had to leave during the middle for personal reasons, so the comments kind of faded at the end, but the beginning held me over through the whole month, and it was great participation. What am I doing in November? I don't know. What am I doing in December? I think I know. Could it involve another book? Quite possibly. Anyhow, so having fun, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I say this 1,000,001 times. That's the whole point. Just having fun and enjoying the community that we're building, which is great. So thank you. You're the community, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.